Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. As you can probably tell from the title, we are not talking theatre this week. Well, we are talking theatre, but we're not. I haven't visited a theatre, it's what I probably should have said, but I didn't. It's been a long day. But what I decided to do today instead is celebrate those shows / those songs that have the ability to make me and other people sob. Why? Because we are shortly coming up to what day everyone looks forward to in their year, and that is Blue Monday. Blue Monday is basically described as the most depressing day of the year, and I thought we'd celebrate it by talking about some shows that make people cry. So if you want to know my list, then hold on to your hats, let's get into it and run that intro. So I sat thinking about this list for a while, and I even did a bit of googling, a bit of YouTubing. I was like, right, what songs make people cry? Are there songs out there that make just me cry? There's probably a few in this list and you're probably like, wait, what? But everybody is different, and I feel like I'm whittering on, so let's get into my list. Firstly, this list is not in any particular order. Not saying that the last song on this list is the one that is the most tear-jerking, and if there is a reason why I cry at it, I will discuss. But first on the list is the song of Alabanza from In the Heights. If you've not seen In the Heights, Alabanza comes in Act 2, I believe. Just after all the frivolity of everything going on, everyone's having a great time. We've got through the blackout, we're out the other side. Like, we've literally just finished Carnaval de Barrio. Terrible pronunciation, I know. And then you are hit by Attention. After that song you have Alabanza. Those two songs together cut you to the core, where it is revealed that one of the characters in the show has died. I don't want to ruin plots, but I feel like at the same time everyone knows what happens in the Heights, and if you don't, sorry. But the way that Alabanza is sung is just beautiful. It starts with basically just one person singing and telling the story of this one word and why it is used by the character who has just died. And by the end of it, it just all comes to a head, if you will, and it's so good. But the build just builds you up inside, and and then the last little voice at the end of the song is the person who is it's just so good. But it will make you cry. It's just the rules of life. You might also see a little bit of a recurring theme with some of my tear-jerking songs. We'll get into it as we go along. Next we have a song from Waitress. I know what you're all thinking. You're all like, ah, she used to be mine, we're ready. No. I mean, She Used to Be Mine does hit every time. It is an excellent song. But the song that will make me cry in Waitress without fail, and I saw it 4 separate times in London, Take It From an Old Man. I don't know what it is about that song. I don't know if it's the way that this grumpy character who owns the diner is like imparting knowledge onto a heavily pregnant person who has just found it in herself to like try and do what she needs to for herself and for her baby. But oh, take it from an old man, just makes me really emotional. It's like the imparting of knowledge from one person to another, and it's just so good. And every single time that I saw it in the West End and on UK tour, I just cry at it, and I don't know why. I'm probably not an okay human being. We've established this in the past. Moving on, we have another one which is about imparting information from one person to a next. We have the song The Letter, and also the reprise of The Letter from Billy Elliot. A show I've never seen in the flesh, and it guts me to the core every time that I think about this. I am so annoyed that I didn't catch the one at the Curve a couple of years ago. It needs to come back some shape or form sometime soon, because I need to go and see it in the flesh. But watching even the recorded performance that they did and released on YouTube and on DVD and to the world, if you will, The Letter, especially the reprise, it's just so good. But again, imparting of knowledge, and at the end of the reprise where she's like, bye Billy, because she knows that she probably won't have that same kind of chat with her son. Oh, I'm flooding, right, just talking about it now. We might have to move on. It's just so beautifully written and performed and sung, and yeah, okay, I'm not gonna cry. Next up, we have got from the show If Then, the song I Hate You. Now I know If Then is not like up there in the world's most known shows. I again have never seen it in the flesh. I won't be seeing it in London because they're doing the concert on a Monday evening, which is rude, may I say, but that's a story for a different day. But If Then essentially is like a sliding doors kind of show where there is two plots of the same person, and just one thing happened which caused two separate things to happen. I'm not explaining it the best, but towards the end of Act 2, you have the song I Hate You, which is sung by the lead female in the show, which on Broadway was Idina Menzel, so listen to the cast recording means you get to listen to her amazing rendition of this song. But the song essentially is her singing to a loved one, her one loved one, her husband, who has gone to be a medic in a war zone. And it starts with her being really, really angry at him for doing that. And then there is a moment in the song where the song essentially shifts, because she goes from I love you to I loved you, because it is then released that he has passed. And then she has to finish that song being, after singing essentially in the present tense about him, to the past tense. Again, very emotional, and the power behind that song and the power behind her, even like listening to it on the Broadway cast recording, it's just so good. But hearing the voice, I'm just gonna play it, it makes more sense. So good. I mean, I could go on about this show and that song and basically any song in that show. I've never seen it, again, never seen it in the flesh. I saw it on YouTube probably as a slime tutorial back in the day, and it is a show that has been with me since that moment. But we'll move on, because whilst we're on the whole Idina Menzel train, let's go for a bit of Wicked, and a song that will forever make me tear up for good. I mean, everyone has their reasons for loving Wicked and loving specific songs. Defying Gravity is still amazing. For Good is essentially like the goodbye between the two lead characters, and for that reason it is emotional. They know that it's never going to be the same again. However, for me, it also has an extra little caveat, because it's got a memory attached to me, completely separate from musical theatre, which has basically made it that I can never get through the entire song without crying. So when I finally, and don't shoot me, when I finally get round to watching both parts of the Wicked movie, because I am still yet to have seen part 1, I know that it's gonna break me in the simmer. And that's okay. I have a year to go, because we're not at that point. Up next we have got a song from Kinky Boots. Again, you might be thinking, Not My Father's Son. I mean, yes, it is quite emotional. What gets me every single time, however, is Hold Me in Your Heart. Towards the end of Act 2, you are almost at the finish line. You're almost about to hear the amazing Just Be song. I mean, it's always there, but Hold Me in Your Heart is a sucker punch to me every single time. And I'm usually like bubbling through the entirety of the song, and then this song basically finishes and a man is pushed onto the stage in a wheelchair, and it's shown and explained that that person is Simon's dad, and that gets me. Oh, it's just a thing of beauty, and it will make me cry every single time. And even thinking about it now, especially when I saw it for the cast change, involving words, when I saw Matt Henry sing it for the last time at the Adelphi, oh, it was something special. Next up we've got Light from Next to Normal. Now this one is less about listening to it now and more me listening to it for the first time in the theatre itself when I saw the show last year. Basically because Light is one of the last songs, if not the last song in the show, and after the emotional roller coaster that you've gone through, it's like the final moment. And I was so emotionally attached to that show, just in the space of sitting and watching it in the theatre, that the words in this song Light just did something to me, and it was something. A lot of tears is what it was. But yeah, I thought I'd put it on the list. Speaking of things that have made me tear up in a theatre, this one is slightly off-brand for the rest of the list, and that is I See Stars from Mean Girls. You're thinking, wait a second, I See Stars is very much a happy song at the end of the show, is it not? Yes. But when I saw it in the theatre, I was not in a good headspace, and something about the lyrics and the message behind the song, which is of being who you are and accepting who you are and loving who you are and knowing that everyone out there, you know, everyone is who they need to be, etc. I just went, okay, we're going. And I actually still can't fully listen to that song without having a little bit of a tear up. Again, I have already said in this video, I am not an emotionally stable person at the best of times. I will cry at most things, which is evident from this list. But I put it on there because it's an odd one, but it will make me cry. 3 left, more conventional 3 to finish. We've got the song Something's Missing from Come From Away. Again, like Next to Normal, I could probably put the entire musical of Coming From Away on this list. If you didn't see me talk about it on its UK tour last year, literally from the from the initial drum beat, I was gone when I saw it on the UK tour. But something about the song Something Missing and the stories of the plain people trying to essentially get on with their lives after what they had gone through, and talking about the struggles of trying to do that, she was gone. Something was missing. It was my emotional stability. Oh, such a good show though, and I won't ever not watch it, even though every single time it will break me into pieces, but in the best way possible. The penultimate one I've put on my list, and this is not my definitive list, this is just ones I was thinking about before this video, because like I have mentioned many a time, I will create anything. There is multiple more that I could put on this list, but I didn't want the video to be 17 years old, or long should I say. You've got the song I'll Cover You Reprise from Rent. Do I need to say anything else apart from the title of the song? If you don't at least shed one tear during that song, there is something wrong with you. Because it is just like a couple more on this list. It's a builder. It starts from one person and becomes this ensemble sound of noise and emotion. It is the loss of a person who throughout the show you have been in awe of, in respect of, and then they are taken away. And like I said, yeah, I have no words. I have had the pleasure, if you will, to see Rent once in my life in person. I have watched the film version multiple times over the years, and just, oh, it's such a good song. But it has the ability to break you body, soul, heart, everything. But it will also give you a warm hug. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so good. And finally, the last one that I wanted to put on this list, and the reason I put these last 2 last is because I was like, right, I think I'm done with this list. I'm nearly there. And I just finished like writing Something's Missing from Come From Away. I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I started going back dangerously into COVID world, where we could not get out, we could not do things, but I also had the pleasure of finding, should I say, an amazing support system of theatre loving people. And one of the things we used to do was watch shows together, And there was twice during lockdown where I sobbed alongside my friend, who at that point I had never met in person. And that was number one, Rent, the Hope Mill version, and then secondly we had The Colour Purple with I Think We All Know. I mean, come on now. The entirety of The Colour Purple has the ability to break me anytime it wants to. But that last moment in I'm Here is a chef's kiss moment. And, oh, it's just so good. But it will essentially make you cry. It's just the rules of the game. It's just the rules of the game. Like I've said multiple times throughout this video, this is not the definitive list. I probably would cry at anything, and probably have. But yeah, I didn't want to make this video ridiculously long, so I just wrote a few down. I hope you enjoy Blue Monday. It's not something you can enjoy. And with that, I am going to bid you farewell. I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, we've talked about emotional musicals and emotional theatre, and hopefully it's been an enjoyable experience. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here and say thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll get back to the theatre again soon. We've had a bit of a hiatus due to certain circumstances, but hopefully they are resolving themselves as we speak, and I will be hopefully getting back to a theatre soon because I want to talk more upbeat things and share my love for shows that I see, because that's the whole reason that I made this channel. But all that's left to say is the usual, and that is thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all lots, and if I do see you soon, all that's left to say is the usual, and that is this. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. Bye.